First, let's establish where we are. We're in the free state of Maryland, one of the smaller United States of America. In fact, out in the western part, near the town of Hancock, the whole state is only 2 miles wide. And yet, these are some of the things Maryland has. The Atlantic Ocean lapping the warm white beaches of the eastern shore. Sailboats on Chesapeake Bay. And beneath its surface, the most succulent crabs to be found in any of the world's waterways. Way out near Oakland, there's whitewater canoeing in the summer and skiing in the winter. And then there's Baltimore, which has the Orioles. Even in this summer of their discontent, their supporters are proving to be fans for all seasons. Once, the corner of Pratt and Light Streets was officially named the ugliest intersection in America. Now it's the Inner Harbor. Millions of tourists visit it every year. The Star-Spangled Banner was written in Baltimore Harbor. And the city has produced H.L. Mencken, Babe Ruth, and Billie Holiday, among others. Baltimoreans say they have an interesting nearby suburb. It's called Washington, D.C. And just out the Falls Road is one of the country's oldest and most beautiful golf courses, the Baltimore Country Club layout known as Five Farms. This week, Five Farms is host to the National Championship of Women's Golf, the U.S. Women's Open. And the woman of the moment, as play began today, was a handsome 22-year-old Swedish golfer named Liselott Neumann. She started with an opening round 67 and has been leader or co-leader at the end of all 3 rounds. Today, she meets the final challenge. ABC Sports and the United States Golf Association invite you to the playing of the final round of the 1988 U.S. Women's Open Golf Championship. The great golf architect A.W. Tillinghast once said, "It is a happy family living under one roof, and each, from pair to mare down the line to the little tads, is genuinely alive in the duty of preserving the honor of the name." He was not talking about the British royal family, but the ideal golf course. And Tillinghast fathered a wonderful family at Five Farms, with holes like the 12th, a graceful dogleg, with a meandering stream to catch the wandering tee shot. The 14th, with the beautifully sculptured fairway bunkers known as Hell's Half Acre. And the 18th green, where the championship may well be decided today. And let's take a look at how they stand right at this moment. We have a tie for the lead. Patty Sheehan and Liselott Neumann, each at 3 under par. And there's a story about that we'll be telling you in just a couple of minutes. Colleen Walker now just a stroke behind, and then Beth Daniel, Dottie Mockery, Amy Benz, and Missy Bertiotti. A real battle of the finishes in prospect. Christy Albers, she had a hole-in-one on the 4th hole today to get into contention. Figueroa's Dottie, Tammy Green dropping down a bit, then Donna White. Okamoto of Japan, 3 under for the day, but she's too far behind. Julie Inkster fading, and Kay Cockrell, the 2-time U.S. amateur champion. Well, good afternoon. I'm Jim McKay reporting from Five Farms at the Baltimore Country Club. And what we're here for is very simple. As I said, it's the National Championship of Women's Golf. And to all intents and purposes, I think really, Dave, the World Championship. I think the women would agree this is the most important championship they play anywhere all year long. This, of course, is Dave Marr. I am a member here. I will indicate my prejudice at the beginning, but I do think something we usually do at the end, which is to credit the green superintendent, might come at the top today. I think Merrill Frank has done an incredible job of keeping this course in shape through the rains, and particularly the monsoon we had last night.
Well, Jim, it's been every day it's been a little bit bad, and he has done a good job with the rain and getting the course prepared every day. And this is one of Tillinghast's finest efforts, I think, as a golf course designer. He's built courses like Somerset Hills in New Jersey, Quaker Ridge in New York, Wingfoot, a lot of courses at San Francisco Golf, really a lot of marvelous courses, and I'm really glad that finally, after a long time, the USGA came back here to show the world what this golf course looks like. Marvelous golf course, but with the rain, as Jim mentioned, I think the scoring is a little better than the players thought it was going to be. It looked like the first part of the week, I even figured 284, 285, but the play has been good because the greens are not quite as fast as it looked like they were going to be. And I'm sure some of the other members, Jim, may be a little grumpy about that.
Well, they never like that. You know that. Let's turn to our expert on women's golf, Rhonda Glenn. Rhonda, the tide may be turning out there, but still it is a very interesting and kind of familiar confrontation on the golf course.
Absolutely right, Jim. What we have here is a classic battle shaping up. The veteran American pro, Patty Sheehan, is sort of holding the turf for the United States. Patty has been a big winner on the American Tour. She's been around for a while. She's never won this championship. Patty Sheehan on the 8th fairway.
Patty has just birdied the 7th hole to move into a tie for the lead because Lieselot Neumann took a double bogey on the same hole. And before they started playing that hole, Neumann had a 3-shot lead over Sheehan, and now they are even.
They're all tied, and Lieselot Neumann is the other side of the coin. It's like the microcosm of what's happening in the rest of the world in golf. The young Swedish rookie, a foreign player, now coming to the United States and threatening to take our biggest women's title.
No question about it, and joining in the battle now is Colleen Walker, who is also 3 under par and 2 under for the day. Now, Neumann. Short par 4, 307 yards long. Very birdieable. And there's her approach. Let's check in with our on-course commentators now. First with Bob Rosberg and Jerry Pate.
We'll be with the final twosome of the day, Patty Sheehan and Lieselot Neumann. I watched Neumann play yesterday, and she played a beautiful round of golf. She made 16 pars and 2 birdies for 69. I think it'll be very interesting to see if her short game, on which she depends so greatly, will hold up under the intense pressure of an Open Championship. And Jerry, what about Patty Sheehan?
Rossi, I had the pleasure of going around with Patty Sheehan yesterday, and she had a fine 33 on the back 9 for a 68. She's definitely going to be a contender in this championship. She's finished second 2 out of the last 3 weeks on the tour. Now let's go over to Ed Snead.
I'm with Tammy Green and Colleen Walker. Now, Tammy Green showed the effects of a second-year player and inexperience in the Open, as she was very tentative when the round started. She bogeyed the first 2 holes, and she's had a little more trouble since then. Colleen Walker, on the other hand, has not shown the effects of that at all. As a matter of fact, she's moved up, and now she's tied for the lead. She's coming off of an 8-shot victory from last week in Boston. I think she could be the player to win this championship. Now let's hear from Judy Rankin.
I'll be with Beth Daniel and Amy Benz today, 2 players who have gotten to this point in this championship via totally different routes. Amy had 3 very consistent good rounds, and Beth started very poorly on Thursday and came roaring back yesterday with a course record 66. They've both started pretty well today, and they do have a chance at this U.S. Open title. Let's go back to Jim McKay.
On the 9th tee, this is the par 3, 156 yards long. Colleen Walker tied for the lead, 2 under for the day. And she's come up short. Good deal short. There's a little flat area past the bunker there that sometimes fools people on this hole.
You don't see that because, as you see, there's about 15 yards of golf course between the top of that bunker. That's what Tillinghast does at a number of his courses. And, of course, uphill to it, always going to play a little longer than you might think. And it's 170 yards, and this green is maybe the most severe on the course, Jim, as you well know. You don't want to get past the hole, but you don't want to be quite as short as Colleen was either.
Back to the 8th green, Patty Sheehan with a birdie attempt. She birdied the last hole, remember, after bogeying the par 5, 6. This would give her the lead, at least for the moment.
Move to her left.
Just a bit more than she thought it might.
This is a comeback of sorts for Patty Sheehan. She was Player of the Year in 1983, won the Vare Trophy in 84, but has never matched that record since. And she's really on a roll now.
Favors the Payne Stewart School of +4s on the golf course. They look nice, I think.
I do, too.
I'd like to see you with them.
No, you wouldn't. You couldn't hog-tie me and give me a note. They are actually very comfortable to play in. As a matter of fact, of course, shorts are very comfortable, too.
Lieselot now with her birdie attempt.
Jim, she may be getting a little tired. This is her 7th tournament in a row without a week off. She won the French Open, then flew right over here and has played 6 straight American events. So this girl is probably showing signs of exhaustion as well as strain.
And it is very hot and very muggy again today. I don't think they have too much humidity in Sweden, most of the year anyway.
She's a great putter.
Yeah, this putt's a little bit slow, though. She's putting sort of up the hill and should move a little to her right, I believe.
Just did pull up that little bit. So Neumann, who had a 3-shot lead just about 10 or 15 minutes ago, is now in a battle to the finish with Colleen Walker and Patty Sheehan. We'll be right back.
Downtown Baltimore, it's Skyline building every day. It's a different city than it was 10, 15, or 20 years ago. City by the bay. Now to the 11th green, Christy Albers for an eagle in this par 5 hole. Remember, she had a hole-in-one on the 4th, has gotten into the battle at even par. She's just 3 shots out. This could bring her to 1 shot out. She'll have that for the birdie that can move her within 2 shots of the lead.
This is quite a story, Jim. She said prior to this, her biggest thrill was getting through the qualifying school.
Walker, remember, was short on the par 3 9th hole. This is her 2nd shot on tape. Very nice. That's the way to do it. Now, live, here is Colleen again for the par putt.
What a year Colleen Walker has had. First of all, she got married last fall, which was happy news. Her husband, Ron Bakich, a pro, helps her with her game, follows her on the tour. She's winning all kinds of money. She's winning tournaments now. She's really just sort of at the peak years of her life.
It's even on that short one. There was a pretty good break. But that's the par 3. Let's have a look at it, Dave.
It's a beautiful par 3, Jim. Quite a bit uphill, 170 yards, so it'll play and has played all week longer than that. You can see the bunker short of the green. There's about 15 yards between there and the front fringe. A hole that slopes quite a bit from back to front. You do not want to get above the hole here. It's been a lot of 3-putting this week and a lot of weeping and gnashing of teeth because you know you shouldn't get there, and when you do, it's all you can do to get down in 2.
No question. It's a very steep slope from the back to the front.
Well, I wonder when Tillinghast built it, if it was in fact that steep. 10 West at Wingfoot was like this, and they went back years later and put it back in the original level that Tillinghast designed it. And we watched Patty Sheehan.
In other words, they'll settle through the years.
Yes, they will.
Patty Sheehan now tied for the lead.
Well, that's a great looking shot right at the flag. And just checked
boy.
up.
That is the place to be.
Just stay there. It's still moving, though.
Well, see how it'll come back.
That's even with the greens being a little slower, I know, because of the rain.
Albers now for the birdie, up on 11, par 5. She's got it. So she goes to 1 under, 2 shots behind the leader. This is going to be a most interesting finish to the Women's Open. On the 9th tee, Lieselot Neumann.
That ball needs to get up, but it's right on the flag. If it'll take a good hop, it'll get on the green.
And it did, but here it'll come back again, or will it? Nope, it's going to stay there. Lieselot Neumann. Ron DeGlette had a few words with her earlier today.
I know you're a great music lover, and you have a special room set up at your house that occupies a lot of your time regarding music. Tell us about that.
Well, it's just in my bedroom at home, where I live with my parents. I just love to buy records. I love disco music and, well, a couple of slow songs too, but I'm really into music, make a lot of tapes, and I had this mixer and everything. I was kind of sitting mixing the songs together, so just for fun, have something to do.
A very dedicated young woman, however. Up in her country, as you know, you can't play golf too much of the year, but she has actually played in the snow with her father. Get themselves a red ball and go out and knock it around. Colleen Walker. Now here is experience at age 31, charging up at the young Neumann, and equal with her now.
That drive's perfect, Jim. It's going to take a little left bounce off of that hill right in the fairway. She is really in control of her game today. She has made a couple of very good pars from tough places, and she's really, really in control with her putter.
Here's a look at the 10th, Dave.
Nice driving hole, Jim. Not overly long. This fairway slopes quite a bit from right to left, and you see the willow trees down the left side. Anyone who plays golf knows that willow trees usually mean water or a creek, and that's what's down the left side. But with a good drive, you should have a short iron, medium iron into this reasonably level green. This is not one of the more severe greens here at the Baltimore Country Club, but the second shot has to be well played because you can't afford to hit it in the lake or over the green. It's absolutely dead. I was there when I played here for you that time.
Yeah,
over the
last year.
green, I want to tell you, is dead.
And I've seen more shots bounce over this green than maybe any other hole. I'm not sure exactly why. Now back to 9. Every birdie putt you see at the moment would put that person in the lead. Bob or Jerry, do you have a feeling about how her emotions are holding up and whether the strain is telling it all?
Well, I thought that she held up very well at the start, and then all of a sudden she came up with that double bogey at 7, and I think it took a little out of her. She had a very makeable putt at 8 and didn't make it, but she sure hit a nice shot in here to 9.
Good putt. Go.
Those are the putts she's been making this week, and she's been making some of them for comeback putts. She's been putting very well, charging the long putts, but making 4, 5, 6 footers coming back.
Par 3. She remains at 3 under for the championship. 2 over, however, for the day. Amy Benz now. Remember, she's at even par for the championship and the day. Only 3 out. And this putt could bring her even closer.
Jim, unfortunately, this putt is not for a birdie, but for a par. Amy drove the ball in the trees on the right and attempted to chip out and only moved the ball about 10 yards. Played a wonderful shot from about 130 yards to this point, 4 feet from the hole.
The great luxury of having people like Judy Rankin out on the golf course who can correct us when misinformation comes our way. So this is for a par, you said, Judy?
Yes, it is.
It's been less than a year since Amy Benz had a very serious injury, dislocating her elbow, so this is a great comeback.
And we know that is Patty Sheehan for birdie on the right on the par 3 hole, the 9th. And they both hung on the edge. So Amy Benz will drop to 1 over now. Drops her to 7th place, tied with Beth Daniels.
Notice Patty Sheehan sort of clowning around. Well, she said that's what she was going to do today, to try to take the pressure from herself, because the U.S. Open has really scared her in the past.
So far, it hasn't scared young Neumann, but this back 9 will tell the tale. And here on the 10th fairway is Colleen Walker, the 3rd woman, remember, tied for the lead here, but the one who is playing the hottest today so far.
She has 106 yards to the hole, and she's using a pitching wedge. Greens are soft, so she should have plenty of room to stop this ball by the hole.
Oh, boy.
What a shot.
David, if there was any disappointment about this course, it was that the rains came and kept these wonderful greens from being firm as they usually are.
They have been able to do what she just did, to fire right at the flagstick, which normally you can't here.
Tammy Green from about the same yardage with a pitching wedge. Good shot, but a little long.
Tammy just a bit off the game today, Ed, huh?
Well, she got started slowly and made a couple of bogeys early. She's got a great game, but she needs to make a move quickly here to get back in this tournament.
Yep. Farm girl from Ohio.
but that farm happened to border on a golf course. 10th hole. Again, 355 yards. Not that long, as you said, Dave, but the pond in front gives you a problem, and you don't want to be over the green.
Well, it's a nice hole, really. As we look at Patty Sheehan get ready to tee off here, you can favor the right side. It's I would think for the long hitters, you may not even want to use a driver, depending, of course, on how wet the course is. But favor the right-hand side a little bit because the contour will, even if you're up in the rough, bounce out of there into the fairway.
She's got the ball coming down the right side and should bounce off this hill back to the left into the fairway. Boy, it's a big shot. It's going to be in perfect position.
Yep. Quite a severe slope coming off that hill, but that has saved many a slicer on this hole.
Well, we know who to ask.
Yes.
All right.
Just ask me. Now, Lieselot.
She had trouble in her practice rounds, was really not playing well, and finally began to talk to some of the other players to find out where to place the ball on this golf course. Obviously, it paid off.
Also a beauty coming right down the right center of the fairway. Should be long also. Not quite as long as Patty, probably 30 yards behind her. Patty really hit a big tee shot there.
Yes, she really did. So Neumann will have a pretty decent shot into that green then, won't she?
No question about it. She's going to have a full shot. Patty will have a three-quarter shot, so I think she really has a better shot at it.
From this angle, it looks like Patty Sheehan has the ball back off her right foot almost, but the angle's not real good. The impressive thing to me about Patty Sheehan, if you watch a nice full turn, gets her weight back on her right side. Now, when she starts down, she really moves very quickly with her feet and body through the ball, which gives her a lot of distance. Look at that position there. Head behind the ball, letting the club swing through, bringing you up into a full finish. Great balance, a lot of speed. The first time you saw her or heard her hit a ball, you knew that Patty Sheehan was going to be a good player.
That is a pretty swing, isn't it? Yeah. Tammy Green now. She's going to get anything going. She needs some birdies and quickly. And good try. One of 8 children, all of whose names begin with T. Christy Albers, the hole-in-one lady. 2 shots off the lead.
Her husband is a sportscaster in El Paso. Would that be nice to be able to announce, guess who won the U.S. Open today?
Right. The winner, my wife. The way she's playing, it could be. Now Colleen Walker. Does sound repetitious, but as we say, every birdie putt any one of these 3 leaders makes is to take undisputed possession of the lead for the moment. And that's the way it's probably going to be all down the back 9.
Jim, you have to think this lady is very confident. She won by 8 strokes last week. Each year on the tour, she's increased the number of money she's won. Got to be in the middle of a streak right now. First one in a lot of times in the Open. That's the one that wins. She puts the pressure on them with this putt.
Okay. She's got the lead, and she may be tough to dislodge from it. Colleen Walker. Let's hear what she had to say to Rhonda a little earlier.
Colleen, you have really come into your own in the last 12 months. You really are a star now. What does that feel like? Is that exciting to you?
Yes, everybody's a lot more friendlier. Everybody wants your autograph. Everybody treats you a lot different. But yet it's a good feeling to know that you've earned it and you want to make everybody else happy too.
Is this something that you had dreamed of, the acclaim that goes along with playing well?
Yeah, it's very exciting because where you go and people you meet and everything, everybody recognizes you now. So it's fun.
Nancy Lopez on the 15th fairway. This is a very difficult par 4. Nancy has not had the kind of a championship she had hoped for. Many people thought she would win here. She's now 5 over for the championship, 1 over for the day.
She had even gotten a new putter, first new putter in like 20 years. for this week, but didn't make enough of them.
The new putter was a copy of the one she'd been putting with all that time, so it was new to her.
Good shot. She'll be coming up at the flagstick. 10th fairway. Lieselot Neumann.
That was from 115 yards.
Oh, boy. I'll tell you, this young lady does not shake. If there ever was a moment to shake, it was that she had just seen Colleen Walker make that birdie.
Oh, you
take
know
the lead.
They're very aware of what Walker's doing, obviously, because it is at this point. You have to think they're the three people fighting it out. And it puts the pressure here on Patty a little bit.
Patty is 80 yards from the hole. Hit a tremendous drive.
Boy, that's a good-looking shot, too, if it'll spin left. About 8 feet from the hole.
I'll tell you, nobody's going to back into this championship. Lieselot Neumann hanging tough, and we'll return with more golf action after this message and a word from your local station. Back again at the Five Farms course of the Baltimore Country Club, in which ABC Sports is bringing you the final round of the U.S. Women's Open Golf Championship. And what a battle is shaping up. Great treat for me, I must say, to be televising a tournament from my home course, as was the case for Jack Whitaker not long ago when the U.S. Open was played at his home course of Shinnecock Hills, which seems like a most appropriate time to bring in the Bard of Bridgehampton right now, Jack Whitaker himself. Okay, Jack.
Thank you very much, Jim, and a beautiful course you have here. I think we're all enjoying it, including the players, and what a competition we have. A lot of action on the front nine here if you've joined us late, even if you haven't joined us late. We had a hole-in-one by Christy Albers that set everybody up, got her into this competition. But then the two people in the last foursome, and that would be, of course, Sheehan and Neumann, had a two-shot swing on 6 and a three-shot swing at 7. They were all tied going to 8. At 3 under, and all of a sudden looked up and had company with Colleen Walker. So it's those three right now, with Albers and Beriotti and Mockery perhaps with a chance to catch them. But it's Patty Sheehan and Neumann, Colleen Walker at the moment. And they're playing, of course, Colleen just ahead, so they'll be in touch visually and audibly and every which way.
All right, Lieselot has exactly the same putt Colleen Walker made a minute ago, Jack, for a birdie. Just keep it inside the hole, and if it moves a little bit to her right. Go 4 under and tie for the lead.
Yeah. There. Co-leaders once again, this time, though, Walker and Neumann. Patty Sheehan 1 shot behind.
First time anyone heard of Lieselot Neumann, she was 15 years old, playing in the World Amateur Team Championship in Geneva as a member of the Swedish team. And someone told USGA Executive Committee member Judy Bell to go out and watch her, and Judy said, well, there's some potential, and here she is.
This is on videotape earlier at 12, and Christy Albers. That hole-in-one on the front to get her going. Had that for another birdie, but Jan Stevenson at the 13th.
Nice little par 3, 139 yards, but a hole you should be thinking about making a birdie on, Jack. It's relatively flat. The green is soft. Oh,
well,
great
you can
shot.
make a birdie with a tee shot like that.
It makes your putting a lot easier.
They're a little more aggressive today than they were yesterday, don't you think?
Well, it's no time to wait now. You've played the course all week. You know the greens are soft, so it's time to get going if you're going to make any kind of good finish here.
Now, Christy Albers from El Paso, University of New Mexico.
One reason the players are able to be more aggressive is we had so much rain dumped on this golf course last night. We'd had a drought in the area, a little bit of rain earlier in the week, and the course got softer and softer. Today, the greens are the softest that they've been, so you can just fire it right at the flag and it'll stop.
Well, another fine tee shot here at this gem of a par 3 at 13. Jan Stevenson and Christy Albers. Of course, this has been quite a busy week in the LPGA. John Loppheimer, the commissioner, has resigned, and they've canceled one of their tournaments, and a lot of tremors going through the women's organization. And about this, Rhonda talked with Jan Stevenson.
Jan, there's a great deal of turmoil in the LPGA, particularly this week. A lot of changes in attitudes. How do you feel about the current status of the LPGA?
I know you didn't want to ask me that question. Actually, I really feel like the LPGA is doing well. I mean, it's surviving fantastically, but I don't want it to survive. I want it to boom. Women's golf is the fastest growing sport in the world, and our galleries reflect that it's really, we're getting a great deal of support, and I'd like to see more media exposure, more marketing. And I presented something the other day at the meeting. I was saying, let's sell it with sex, let's sell it with anything, let's just sell. And I think all the girls are feeling that way, that they really have a good product, and we've really kind of been left behind.
You were the first one to sell it with sex, as you say. Do you really think that's effective in selling a woman's sport? Is that true to the purity of the sport?
Well, what's purity of the sport? I mean, any sport, the most important thing to sell anything with is sex. I mean, they've proven that with everything. And I'm not saying you sell with sex and then that's all. I mean, they have to still come out. And once they see the golfers, obviously they're going to watch the best players. And if you couldn't sell with sex if you couldn't play golf, and these girls can play.
All right, that's Jan Stevenson's opinion, and here for another angle on it is Frank Hannigan, the Senior Executive Director of the USGA. Frank?
Well, Jack, we find it unfortunate, perhaps even sad, that in 1988, female athletes should think they have to emphasize sexuality in order to get the recognition they really deserve because of their skills as athletes.
All right, Frank Hannigan, thank you. As we look at Jan Stevenson at 13, looking over a birdie putt, and we'll move to the 11th now, and Colleen Walker, co-leader at the par 5 11. Now, they're taking no prisoners today. Now back at 13, Christy Albers and Jan Stevenson, both of whom put in marvelous tee shots here. Birdie opportunities galore on the final round of the 43rd United States Women's Open.
Christy Albers has only been on the tour for 2 years. She's a non-exempt player, which means she gets an opportunity to try to qualify for a tournament if there are few open spots.
Rather desultory stroke there.
That's a player, Jack, really that is not used to being quite up this high. Now, she may become a very good player in time, but overall in the 2 years that she's played, won a little over 33,000, only 7,000 this year. So this may turn out to be somewhat of a tough learning experience for her today, but still it's good to see her playing well.
Well, it's certainly an afternoon she's not going to forget. This is Missy Bertiotti at the 12th, putting for birdie to go 2 under. Albers got her par at the 13th. And Bertiotti gets her par here. Now let's go back to 13 for Jan Stevenson's birdie attempt to get her to 1 over. What a fine tee shot. And the hole today cut up close.
I think that would be the hardest place to put the pins here, as fair as most of these greens are with their slopes. But again, we talk about the softness. They'll learn today that they could go for it.
Far more aggressive today than they have been all week here at Five Farms. All right, we're at the 11th green, and Tammy Green.
Jack, Tammy has hit the ball back, and she got relief from one of our cameras. just a case of taking relief from a temporary immovable obstruction. So she hasn't been penalized. She's just taken a free drop. But she's got a very, very difficult shot. I would be surprised if she can keep this ball anywhere near the hole. The green is so very fast, and she has almost no green to work with.
Oh.
You can see that ball rolling, and that's how fast these greens are, and this is a very severe green.
All right, the 11th hole. That's where all the action is now. The leaders are there, and here it is, Dave. A beautiful par 5. Short, but
Well, you might think it's short. It's about 300 yards to a creek that crosses across the fairway with it all the way down the left side. It's the second shot, Jack. It's as much of an elevated green as I've ever seen. So it plays a lot longer than 421, and that tree to the right definitely comes into play if you're trying to hit a high shot up there. This green, again, one of the ones with a severe slope from the back to the front.
all right, 13th tee. This is Bertiotti at the par 3.
Hey, we just saw Dan Stevenson hit a good shot in here, and that's a little bit left. Just off the putting surface, you
There
can
it
see
is.
there. They must have had a little burn there. You see a couple of the greens from our cameras look, I think, worse than they are. The course itself is in good shape. Just been a couple of chemical burns at here and at 16, I believe.
Julie Inkster now playing with Missy Bertiotti.
And what a disaster she had on the final hole yesterday with a double bogey 6 that really took her out of this tournament. She was sobbing in the locker room afterwards. She knew that she had not much chance today.
And it was her finest open up to that point ever by a long shot.
Going back to that shot that she had there yesterday, she may have learned quite a bit from that shot. At least I hope so, because I don't think that was the right play that she had. As we see her caddy, her husband, Brian, stand behind her, and he kind of lands her up, offers advice to her.
Some players want this championship more than others. She's won 3 women's amateurs. She'd love nothing better to put this one with it.
Colleen Walker now for birdie at 11. Oh! Almost looked like there was a magnet there, huh? Pushing it away.
Tammy had a little bit of trouble on this hole. She hit her drive into the left rough and played out nicely, but she pitched strongly with a wedge. So she was over the green in 3, on in 4. She lies 5, and he just putt for a 6. I'm very impressed with her game. She's got a great golf swing, and she's going to learn from this experience, I'm sure.
Now back in the fairway at 11. Neumann and Sheehan.
Neumann is 215 yards, Jack. I don't think she can get to the green. She is not quite as strong as Patty Sheehan or Walker or a couple of the other girls, but she'll put it right in front, I think.
Whoa.
That was a balk.
Everybody advance one hole, Rossi.
That's right.
You called a lot of balks this year, Rossi.
Well, it's the year of the balk.
That's tough to do, isn't it?
It really is. Very few players ever stop like that when they've taken the club back.
Well, it didn't affect her shot. She's really hit it big up the left side, but it won't reach the green today. It's into the wind, as you said, Rossi.
Patty Sheehan is 210 yards. She has a metal fairway club. She's pretty strong. She might get it to the front edge. She's got to jump on it, though.
Well, she gets a lot more speed than Neumann through the ball.
Well, that one's going to get on here. That's a beautiful shot. Perfect position to putt uphill to this flag for an eagle.
All right, Patty Sheehan on it, too, at the par 5 11th. And earlier, Rhonda Glenn had some words with Patty.
Patty, the last time we saw you, it was at the McDonald's Championship. You bogeyed the final hole to lose that tournament. I know you were very upset about that. But you seem to have bounced back. How do you feel about it? How did it affect you?
It affected me a great deal. It took me about, I would say, 2-3 days before I could cry about it. I was so hurt, and you know, it really, it affected me a great deal. I can't really explain it to you other than the fact that I lost a lot of confidence in myself, and you know, all I did was cry for about a half an hour one day, and I seemed to get it out of my system, and that helped a great deal.
All right, we are back here.
Would certainly ease the pain of that finish at the McDonald's, would it not?
Colleen Walker, 12th hole. .366 yards, par 4. Beauty. Oh, she gets right by the trouble pot there on the tee shot. It's a 90-degree dogleg uphill, a beautiful hole, number 12. Our golf quiz. If you mark your ball with a coin, then tap it down with your putter, and the coin moves. Is there a penalty? Well, if you mark your ball with a coin and then tap it down with your putter and the coin moves, is there a penalty? Well, there didn't used to be. Then there was, and now they've changed it again. It is not, as long as you place the ball back at its original spot. Patty Sheehan at the 11th, a par 5, of which she hit that beautiful shot on in 2. So here she goes with a chance to grab the lead should this putt drop. That for the birdie. Colleen Walker up ahead at the 12th fairway after a beautiful drive.
That's a 5-iron from just under 150. That's a lot of club to be hitting into this green.
Yes, it is. She's over. And very awkward shot back. 14th, Christy Alberts, third shot.
This is one of the long par 5s. We have 3 par 5s on this course, and only one of them, the 11th, is reachable in 2. The other 2 are over 550 yards long.
All right, this is on videotape a few moments ago at the par 5 11th, and this is Neumann's third shot, and she has that for birdie. Now we're back live, and this for birdie to put her at 5 under. Yes, indeed. And once again, the young lady from Sweden has taken the lead by herself at 5 under par. Colleen Walker at 4 under now. Well, tomorrow, ABC's Monday Night Baseball features 2 National League contests. The Eastern Division leading New York Mets against the Phillies, and the San Francisco Giants host the Western Division leading Los Angeles Dodgers. Check the local listings for the game in your area. It begins at 8 Eastern tomorrow on ABC Sports. All right, Patty Sheehan for the birdie to get her to 4 under. Yes. Very firm. Tied now with Colleen Walker for second place at 4 under. Now here is Colleen at 12.
She has hit her second shot into a position that I think it's going to be next to impossible to make a par without making a long putt. She has got a very, very difficult pitch.
Yes, we remember that Tammy Green yesterday put it up a little further to the right than where Colleen is, and just about could hold the ball on the green. Colleen Walker's round today, out in 33, birdie at 10. No bogeys yet.
She looks like she's going to try to land this ball on the green, and I don't think she can get it close unless she lands it in the rough and bounces it out of the rough.
It looks like how's her lie there? It looks from the camera down.
It's not the best. It's sitting down a little bit.
I think the only way she can get close to it is to hit the pin. There's no other chance. Well, try to get a little too cute sometimes in an open championship instead of just making your bogey. Now she might be looking at double bogey here.
Now at the tee. The leader.
Boy, it's a perfect tee shot down the right center of the fairway. Couldn't place it any better.
Boy, they're driving a lot longer here today than they have been all week as we take a look at this remarkable hole called the Creek.
Aptly named with the creek down the right-hand side there with a small lake at the end. Beautiful dog leg to the right. Makes you want to keep the ball out to the left, but the more left you are in that fairway, Jack, the more sad hill your lie is. And then your second shot up to this green that's well bunkered in front as Patty Sheehan drives off here at 12.
Boy, also a good tee shot. A little more up the left side, but it's going to be a nicely played shot into this green.
That is uphill, that second shot. Now we have Colleen Walker up at the green.
Oh, that's gonna run well past.
That was her fourth shot, so she has that left for bogey.
Ball is picking up speed now and rolling faster than it was when it rolled by the hole.
Yeah.
This is like one of those nightmares that you have about golf sometimes, where you can't tee the ball up or get it to stop.
Well, Ed, you've played a lot of golf. That's a mistake that we've all made. We'll probably make again, trying to get too cute with that third shot, and all of a sudden now she's looking at 6 or maybe 7.
Now, this was moments ago. Jan Stevenson at 15.
She's birdied the last 4 holes.
And there's another one. 5 birdies in a row for Jan Stevenson. Moves her to 1 under.
Well, that's about time. She's free putted that hole 3 days in a row. So I think it owed her one.
Now, Colleen Walker.
Farther away in 4 than she was in 2.
Sounded like she hit it just a little fat, and she's come up short. She's got a makeable putt. She can get that one in. She's still in the tournament, but she has to get that one in the hole.
This will be for double bogey 6. A little 12th hole.
Was very surprised to see her hit a 5-iron. She had a 145, and even though it's uphill and she doesn't want to have it roll back off the front of the green, I really think it's still a hole that you have to play underneath the hole, and I think
Now at 15, Dottie Mockery, who has come back very well today. She went from 3 under to 3 over in the 3rd round because of a faulty putter, but today, with the help of an eagle at 11, she has played quite well.
She called her round yesterday ugly, and it was because she started off with 5 bogeys early in the round.
She's having quite a rookie year. Won over $106,000, and that's playing golf.
Yeah, that putter is going for her today, isn't it?
Dottie Mockery is the player that the other players in an informal poll said was the best unknown player on the LPGA Tour. But that's going to end very quickly. She's been playing well in the big tournaments.
Now back at 12, Tammy Green. Downhiller.
she's done that 4 or 5 times. That's the difference in playing around near par and being 5 over.
Now, Missy Bariotti. This is at the 14th, the long 560 yards, par 5.
Missy's 25. She's from Pittsburgh, and she's played in 5 Opens. She's missed the cut 4 times, but she finished 19th last year.
Credits Raymond Gafford, one of the fine club professionals from Texas, from your area there, Rhonda, with the help on our golf game. Good shot.
Nicely on. Tammy Green at 12 for par. Now Colleen Walker for double bogey 6. Would drop her from 4 to 2 under. 3 shots behind the leader, Neumann.
Colleen works a lot with a sports psychologist, and I think this particular experience is going to test all of that insight that she's gained.
Well, he'll just tell her don't hit so much club at 12 next time. I mean, at 5, Ed Snead said that was too much club.
Oh, yeah.
Well, through the first 3 rounds, she was tied for first in hitting Green, so she's played very well, but not making fun of the fact that she had double bogey there.
Jan Stevenson at the 15th tee.
Stay up. Stay right.
That must be down the left side. She got a nice little bounce there, and this par 4 is the ones that she's 3-putted 3 times this week. It's she says ruined her rounds all week long, as we see Patty Sheehan.
That was from 175 yards.
Boy, it's a good-looking shot there, and it's going to leave herself below the hole, putting uphill.
Neumann has hit one of her big drives. She's only 155 yards. Wants to keep it below the hole. I would think this is a 6-iron.
Here's where she made a magnificent par yesterday when it looked like she might lose it out of the bunker.
Well, that one's covering the flag, but it just hit under that hill, and it killed it. If it bounced a little bit more, it would have been stiff. But still a beautiful shot.
So the leader in good shape here at the 12th green, which was so expensive for Colleen Walker. Now a moment ago, Christine Albert, 15th tee. In the fairway, now at the par 3, the 13th, Colleen Walker.
That's an 8-iron. She's hit it right on line. Very good shot. This will be a big hole for her. If she can settle down here, maybe make that putt, she'll be right back in it.
She sure will. Beautiful little hole, framed by those trees. So it's 4:30 here. We're in the real meat of the U.S. Open Sunday afternoon on the back 9. And the young lady from Sweden who has led most of the week. And here are the people pursuing her. Joanne Carner finished with finishing with +5. Okamoto at +4. They were 2 in the playoff last year for this title. And Carol Thompson, the low amateur at the moment. And our defending champion, Laura Davies, finished at 14 over. Now Birdie Oddie for a birdie.
Come on. Missy Bertiotti has improved rapidly. She moved up this past season 20 spots on the money list and made over $60,000, 45th, and that's after only 2 years on the tour.
Mm-hmm. All right, Sheehan, Patty is 4 under, just 1 shot behind Neumann. And up at the 12th, going for a birdie.
Putt's going to break to the right, Jack. That's obvious. From any time you're to the left of any of these holes, they always go to the right.
Of course, and when it does start to break, Jack, that's when it begins to go down the hill and begins to pick up a little speed.
Whoa, 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 whoa. There it is. Steady now. Here at the 18th, moments ago, the familiar, lovely figure of Nancy Lopez. And safely home on the final green. Here she is live at the 18th, wanting so much to play well here this week. Felt she was, but couldn't really get anything going. Now the leader at the moment for birdie at 12.
Is this the Nancy Lopez of the future? That's what you think. She's won Opens in almost every country. France, Germany, Singapore, Open, and now maybe the U.S.
Now Colleen Walker for a birdie up at 13. A 3 for Neumann at 12, a 6 for Colleen at 12. So Colleen remains 2 under. 4 shots behind the leader. Now the other warm player of the day right now, Jan Stevenson.
She's a good wood player, Jack. Good player all around.
Big bounce left.
Yeah, they popped up there on the green.
You heard her say, I don't want to be there. That's been a crucial factor in this tournament. Where to put the ball, not just on the green, but in what quarter of the green to play it, to have a chance at birdie.
Now moments ago up at 12, Patty Sheehan for par. So Patty remains 2 shots behind the leader. Now at the 15th, Christy Albers. Second shot at this par 4. Ran right up by Jan Stevenson's ball. Well, this is where you said, David, she's 3-putted, hasn't she, Jan?
That's right.
Has memories of that place.
And from this right side, of course, you know where you want to put it. You want to put it down left or putt back up the hill. And, of course, that's not easy to do when you got a wood in your hand.
All right, the leader at the moment, and looking stronger as she goes along, Liselott Neumann of Sweden. And here she is at the 13th, par 3.
Hole playing about 135 yards today. I would think that this is a 7-iron. I don't think she will try and hit an 8 real hard. There's a slight breeze in her face.
Rossi, that's all over the hole. Oh, hit the flag and almost went in.
Oh, my.
Woo-hoo.
Oh, boy. What can you say about her? I mean, a double bogey there at 7, and Patty Sheehan, one of the best players on the LPGA Tour, ties her at that point, and she's the one that's played steady since then, just right back. Let's watch that shot again, Jack.
I'd watch it forever. Hit a shot like that under these conditions. Ooh, look at that.
They're yelling and screaming in Finspång, Sweden.
They
Her
sure
family's
are.
watching via cable TV.
That's right, Patty. We better take another look at this. This isn't turning out quite the way I expected after number 7.
Boy, this one is right on the flag. Also, a little bit long.
How about those two, huh? Punch and counterpunch. All right, Mickey Wright, the woman considered by many to have the most perfect swing, has won the U.S. Open 4 times, a record she shares only with Betsy Rawls. Hot air balloons over the Maryland countryside. As we come down now to the meat of this 43rd United States Women's Open Championship. And here once again is Jim McKay.
Well, Jack, it could be that we're witnessing the birth of a golfing superstar here in Liselott Neumann of Sweden. Of course, we thought that last year when Laura Davies came over from England and won this U.S. Women's Open. But this performance is remarkable as you look at the leaderboards here, because Neumann, after that double bogey at 7, made the turn in 37. She has now birdied 3 holes in a row and may make it 4. Here's Patty Sheehan first. Sheehan with this to go 5 under.
And to probably not lose another shot. You almost have to feel that Neumann's going to make hers.
Albers at the 15th. Well, she and Jan Stevenson missed their birdie attempt, so there's the par for Albers to remain at 1 under, 3 under on today's round. And if you just joined us, she did have a hole-in-one at the 4th hole. So, back to the 13th green, the par 3, and Liselott Neumann for her 4th birdie in a row on the back 9. And the back 9 is the tougher of the 2 nines.
Of course, Jim, when Laura Davies won the Open last year, it was just the beginning for her. In her rookie season, she won 2 other LPGA events and indeed has become one of the great stars on the LPGA Tour. Although she teed off early today, she had quite a large following.
Jim, this putt is almost straight. She needs to keep it inside the left and keep it firm. And, of course, if she can make this one, it's like dropping the big hammer on the rest of the field.
2-stroke lead now. This would make it 3. Nope. So the string of birdies has ceased, but the par will keep her 2 strokes in front, but 5 holes to go, and several of them the most difficult holes on the golf course. Rhonda talked to Lisa a lot earlier.
Did you talk to your family since you finished playing yesterday? And if so, what did they say to you?
I called my dad, and they said they've been watching it on Screen Sport at home. So they saw the whole thing live, and my dad, they were so excited. They said we're sitting screaming all the time, and my mom said the only thing we missed was that you didn't wave and say hi to us. So I said, I'll go out and do that tomorrow.
What would you say to your parents now in Swedish? Here's your chance.
Hej mamma och pappa, jag älskar er och ni har gjort allting för att jag skulle komma hit en dag. Jag vill tacka min tränare Pierre också som verkligen har hjälpt mig på vägen.
And what did you say to him?
I just want to thank them for everything they did for me when I was a kid. They helped me around all the time. They were always behind me. And I said also I wanted to kind of thank my teacher, my pro at home. He's doing everything for me. He called me this morning, wish good luck, and I just want to thank them all.
You know, she waved at the camera when she walked off the 10th green, and I guess that was it, waving to her parents. Bertiotti on the 15th, perhaps the most difficult of the par fours.
That's a 5-iron from about 170 yards, Jim. Pins cut way in the back of the green today.
Safely on. Neumann on the 14th tee. This is the par 5 known as Hell's Half Acre. 560 yards. Definitely a 3-shot hole.
That's a big tee shot down the right-hand side of the fairway, right about 250 off the tee, and it's going to roll just into the rough.
Sitting up, though, it looks like.
Bob, you followed her yesterday. You were in that group. Is she hitting the ball farther today than yesterday?
I think she has a little adrenaline going, David. When that adrenaline starts pumping, you can hit it a little farther. She's hitting it a lot more solidly today, though.
Yeah. Boy, that's a super tee shot also, as you could hear the response from the crowd.
It sure is. Now on the same hole up ahead, Colleen Walker. This is on tape from a moment ago. 3rd shot on the par 5. Beautiful shot. She may not be out of it yet. We asked some of the former owners of this title how the U.S. Women's Open victory changed your life. Here's what one of them had to say.
I was 24 years old, and it was my first tournament victory, and all of a sudden, it was like starting off and being nobody, and then all of a sudden, you were somebody. And I just noticed people tended to notice me in the airports and things like that, and it was a big change for me.
On the 14th green now, Colleen Walker for a birdie that would bring her to 3 under, 3 shots out of the lead. Trying to fight back from that double bogey on 12. Good effort on that. Now on tape, Missy Bertiotti's birdie attempt at 15. That's where it ended. Jan Stevenson, 2 under for the day. Even par for the championship. 2nd shot on 16. Stevenson went out in 37, but coming back, she has been red hot. 4 birdies.
Bounce. Bounce.
Just on. 17th green, Dottie Pepper Mockery to go 1 under. She made a great comeback today after a tough time yesterday, and she's got it. Puts her at 1 under in a tie with Alberts and Bertiotti, and a tie for 4th place in this championship.
Of course, Dottie is the daughter of a former Major League Baseball player,
Right.
and she has picked up a lot of that fire from her dad, I think.
3 under for the day. Okay, here's the way they stand. Neumann by 2 over Patty Sheehan, by 4 over Walker, by 5 over Mockery, Bertiotti, and Albers. The 14th hole is next, or is the present hole for the leaders, and here's Hell's Half Acre, Dave.
Jim, fine par 5, as you see there, 560 yards, a true 3-shot hole, meaning it's going to take 2 good wood shots to get you down where you can play a short club in there. And those bunkers that you see called Hell's Half Acre, I'm sure,
yep,
that is, they come into play really only if you don't hit too good a drive and get in the rough. 3rd shot, after you've played 2 good shots down there, a little uphill, and the pin today is in the left side. It's 7 yards from the left side over that bunker. Good par 5 here, Jim.
And here are Neumann and Sheehan.
Neumann is about 105 yards. I would think that she'd play a full wedge, not wanting to hit the ball past the hole. little 9-iron would be possible, but I don't think she'll do that.
Well, it's a covered again. Just short of the hole. She's going to have a nice uphill putt, though. That's the perfect place to be, below the hole.
Right at the flagstick every time. Beth Daniel on the 15th fairway. She had a 66 yesterday. She's 1 over for the championship, even on today's round.
She really did have high hopes going into this final round. She was quite a way back, but she said this morning she would trade all of her tournament victories for a win in this one.
I'm sure of that. Now Sheehan, third shot, 14.
Also from 105 yards.
Boy, that's covering it also. Oh, beautiful shot there.
I tell you. No sign of cracking, Dave, on the part of either of these two women head-to-head.
There's two different psychologies going on, too, a little bit. I mean, Neumann, of course, with a 2-stroke lead, hitting shot after shot very well, has had birdie putts from the 9th hole right up through here. He hit a lot of good shots. Now, Sheehan can afford to be a little more aggressive because, hey, she's finished second in this tournament before. What you remember, as they say so often, is who won, not who finishes second.
Absolutely. Now, the 18th hole. Our first good look at it today, Dottie Mockery. A par here would give her a 68, 3 under par. A very difficult golf course.
Well, she's going to win soon. She came so close at the McDonald's Championship, just fell back in the closing holes. And here she's had an excellent shot at it, so she's playing well when it counts.
Uphill tee shot.
Run hard!
That's a good one.
Well, you just listen to her. She'll tell you all you need to know. She talks to that ball every single shot.
Now looking back towards the tee. But this one, 16, was Christy Alber's attempt at a birdie. A long one. Is it going to break? Right idea, not enough of it. Now on the 15th tee, this is the par 4, 396 yards long, a valley in front of the green and a tough hole.
Good shot.
I would think if she has any chance of winning, she's got to birdie at least 2 out of the last 4 holes and get to at least 4 under.
15 and 16 would be very tough to birdie. Jan Stevenson for the birdie on 16, coming uphill. Now back to 14, and Neumann attempting yet another birdie, and again coming right up at the hole, right place. And
Wow, right across the front of the hole. Yep. Good a long time.
She played her practice rounds with Marcy Bozarth, one of the fine young players on the tour, and it was Marcy who told Lieselot where to place the tee shots, where to place the second shots, and really got her concentrating well, and probably deserves quite a bit of the credit for Lieselot's mental attitude this week.
Credit? How about sending her a bill for a playing lesson, huh? In case she wins.
Albert's tapped in for her par, by the way. The British seniors today at Turnberry in Scotland, where we had the great battle between Watson and Nicklaus, remember, not too many years ago. Gary Player, by a stroke, the winner over Bill Casper. And in the senior event in the United States, the Newport Cup, they canceled the final round. They must have gotten that rain we had last night up there today. The winner, Walt Zabriskie, and congratulations to him. He's had a much better career on the senior tour than he did in his brief time on the regular tour, Dave, right?
That's his first win, and he's a delightful guy. I'm really happy for him.
Now, right here, you saw the leaders. Again, Neumann by 2 over Sheehan. Sheehan, however, with a birdie chance here.
David, although that this putt is much closer, this is a very difficult putt. It's downhill rather than uphill, and it's going to be fast and breaking to her left.
Break a lot left?
Yes, sir. The uphill putts are much easier.
And she's got it. The lead narrows to 1. Patty Sheehan, the American Tour veteran, looking for a U.S. Women's Open victory.
And we're coming up to the big holes, the long par fours now, 15 and 16, and one can't help but wonder if Patty might have an advantage on those two. She's a long hitter.
On the 16th fairway now, Missy Bertiotti.
Missy's driven the ball in the one level place on the right side of this fairway. She's looking at 145 yards straight uphill, and I think she's chosen a 6-iron. Little breeze at her back right now.
Hasn't been much wind today, though, has there?
No, there hasn't, but just enough to keep the temperature pleasant, Jim.
Good, good. Glad you're happy out there, Judy.
I guess she's learned from Julie Inkster today with this alignment in her caddy. She's lost that to the right in the trees.
Not the place to go.
I think it's dropped down right of the right-hand bunker.
Yeah, we see it. 18th fairway now, Dottie Pepper Mockery. 1 under for the championship, 3 under for the day.
Go in the hole.
Going.
Get close.
Or any of the above. It just get close.
You're right. She does talk to him, doesn't she? There was a gorgeous shot, by the way.
Her nickname when she was an amateur, we'll repeat, was Hot Pepper because of her temperament, and that's what all the other players called her.
Well, let's go back to Julie Inkster, battling it out. 2 over for the championship, 1 over for the day. She was right in it yesterday to the double bogey on 18. Again, her husband, Brian, behind her, lining her up.
It's from about the same spot in this fairway as Missy was, 10 yards closer. And a nice shot.
Good shot. The short hole, 17th, 156 yards. Stevenson even par. She isn't going to win, but she's made a good effort on the back 9.
Yeah, she's finished bad all 3 days, Jim. Maybe today will be a little bit better finish for her. And you say the hole is short, it's 156, but it plays a little longer. You're kind of hitting a little uphill, and again, on one of the severe sloped greens here.
Fly. Fly.
On the green, a long way from the hole. You know, if people were watching Colleen Walker, Dave, and saw that 6 that she made on 12, they might think, how could she do that? She was only about 15 yards from the hole. And the answer is on that hole, easily.
If you ever play the hole, you'll see how easy it is to do. And, of course, Jim, anybody that's ever played this game has had a shot where it's a little questionable and you're playing down a hill and you try to get real cute and you leave it in the grass short of the green, and now you've got the same doggone shot again. And how many times have you made a double bogey or something?
Christy Albers, the hole-in-one lady.
Time for another.
Yeah, right here. Last chance.
For today.
Yeah.
Going to be a good finish. She's got to be very happy with this finish.
Doggone, she missed it this time.
Must have lined up to the right.
Tammy Green.
That's a 2-iron from almost 200 yards. She has pushed it well to the right. I can't tell if it's in the bunker or if it hit the trees. It looks like it hit the trees and came back down the hill.
Yeah, the spectators are looking back down that way.
Yeah, they're not looking at the bunker. It's over there, and there it is. Some of the gallery marshals got it there. What you got to tell Reg Murphy, the general chairman, by the way, this has really been a well-run event, Jim.
I will tell him. Reg Murphy's the publisher of the Baltimore Sun and member of the executive committee of the USGA, and he took on this chairmanship just because he had nothing to do. and
He'll never do this again.
They have done a terrific job here. The attendance today, they announced attendance over 22,000. They say that's a record for the week for the U.S. Women's Open. Walker.
That's a 3-iron from about 185. She's hit it toward the left side of the green.
Okay, all the leaders playing this hole right now are about to. Let's have a look at it, Dave.
Called Evergreens, as you've named these holes here. It's 396, and again, it's one of those holes where plays longer than that. You're driving a little bit into a hill here. Depends on the wind. You see the evergreens down the left side. If you miss, you want to be right on the tee shot, but you don't want to be right on that second shot because the green slopes quite a bit from right to left there. Best place to come into the green is to the left and to putt up the hill.
Did you see that 11 of 11 fairways for Patty? She has not shaken at all in this battle with Neumann. It's the two of them now, unless there are dramatic changes.
Well, she's hit another one perfectly down the middle of the fairway.
Patty did not win a tournament last year. She said she suffered from a lack of motivation, but she came out strong this year, won early in the year. She's been up close in the big tournaments. This could be it for her.
9 out of 11 fairways for Neumann, as you see.
Good looking tee shot also. That's a big one there.
10 out of 12.
About 20 yards past Patty.
Which has not been the case.
It has today.
Yeah. Okay, there she is. We'll return with more golf action after this message and with a word from your local station. We're in the heart of Maryland at the Five Points course of the Baltimore Country Club. It's the Women's Open, a battle of the finish in progress. It appears between Liselott Neumann of Sweden and Patty Sheehan of the United States. Neumann by 1 over Sheehan as we return to Jack Whitaker. This is going to be fun, Jack.
It certainly is, Jim, on this great golf course, these final holes. And we go up at 18 now and pick up Dottie Mockery, who came back really loud here today in the final round. She has this for a birdie to finish at 2 under, which will get her some money and a lot of confidence. She speaks excellent golf ball.
She had 37 putts yesterday.
Yeah.
That's terrible for a pro. It really ruined her chances yesterday, but boy, she's come back strongly, as you said, Jack.
Well, but that for par would give her a 1 under finish. Now, Colleen Walker. Things were going splendidly for Colleen until her second shot at 12, where she eventually took a double bogey.
Jack, it's really unfortunate that she did that because she's really played a beautiful round of golf today. She's hit the ball very solidly.
Well, now at 17 on videotape, Christy Albers for birdie. Albers at 1 under.
Go, Christy.
So Jan Stevenson and her partner Christy Albers make par at 17. Jan Stevenson even, Albers at 1 under. Mokry 1 under, or will be if she can get her putt in at 18. And here she is. Then it's another stroke to Colleen Walker at 2 under. Yes. All right, Dottie Pepper Mockery, 1 under for the United States Open of 1988.
Well, that's good playing after the round she had yesterday, Jack. And this looks like a lot of people, as Rhonda said, this might be the next real big star out here on the LPGA Tour.
Or at least American star.
All right, Colleen Walker at 15 for par. Here's another big star, American star on the tour also.
And she has arrived.
All right. Remains at 2 under. Now, Missy Bertiotti at the 17th. Beautiful par 3.
Missy did not get that ball up and down at 16 and made a bogey. She's going here with a 6-iron. Pin cut in the front of the green today, just 8 paces on.
right, that's our Judy Rankin, who I understand made her first professional check right here in Baltimore. Well, pleasant memories for her. All right, look at the gallery here with our last group.
One of the great things about this golf course to me is that you really do have to play every club in the bag. A lot of long irons, fairway woods, not just short irons this week. They're hitting some big clubs in here.
That was a 205-yard 2-iron. Not quite going to get there, I don't believe.
Just a bit shy.
About the same shot she had on the last hole at the McDonald's tournament. About the same distance, and she didn't quite get it to the green there either.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Neumann, who outdrove Sheehan by about 20 yards, is hitting a wood, so you can see how far Patty tried to hit that iron.
Well, you remember the shot she played yesterday at 16, Bob? After I forget who she played with, she took a wood and cut it in.
Boy, this one has the flag covered. It's going to be the perfect distance. Great shot.
Inexorable. It reminds me of the way Raymond Floyd gets when he wins tournaments.
Well, she's just hit good shot after good shot. And starting at 8 even, she had a makeable putt there. 8, 9, and knocked it stiff at 10. Chipped up close at 11 to par 5. Good second shot and putt at 12.
Now, Christy Albers at 18.
Okay.
And having one of the great Sunday afternoons of her life. Puts it in the rough on the left side here at 18. Now Saturday, ABC Sports kicks off the NFL preseason, believe it or not, with live exclusive coverage of the AFC-NFC Hall of Fame game. Cincinnati Bengals with Boomer Esiason takes on last season's league-leading rusher Charlie White and the Los Angeles Rams. Live 2:30 Eastern, 1:30 Central, and 11:30 Pacific on ABC Sports. Julie Inkster at 17.
Jack, Julie, and I just talked walking to the 17th tee, and we were discussing what a terrible letdown it is when you think you may have a chance to win the U.S. Open, and you let it go like she did at the end yesterday. She's fighting physical weariness and emotional weariness today.
All right, Frank Hennigan, what you think might be the problem there?
Well, I'm going to guess that she's asking the referee whether or not a mark on the green is a ball mark or whether it's some other kind of mark. The only kind of damage that she's entitled to repair is a ball mark or an all-hole plug.
All right.
Well, apparently it was not a ball mark, Frank, because she didn't repair it. So here we go with this birdie putt from about 18 feet. Straight downhill and breaking a little from her left to right.
Now, Patty Sheehan at 15.
This is a difficult chip up this hill. It's got a big break from right to left. She's taken a 7-iron out, and she must run this ball and hit it firm to get it all the way up to the hole. It's going to be extremely slow. Well, I don't believe she hit it hard enough. That's going to come up short. She would have done better with a 5-iron or a 6-iron, something with a little less loft.
So Patty leaves a little short under the hole, and Rhonda talked with Patty earlier today.
Patty, what is it that you look for in a fellow competitor in a pairing?
Well, obviously, Lisa Lott is going to be serious out there at times, and I think that we're going to have some fun at times. For me, if I have fun and enjoy myself out on the golf course, I seem to play a lot better. So I'm hoping to smile and chat with the crowds a little bit and just generally have a good time out there.
Well, a good time. She may have it yet this afternoon in the final holes here. Neumann and Sheehan. And here's the leader at the moment.
She's played that second shot in perfect position to putt it for a birdie. It's uphill. It's going to break a little bit to her left. Once again, she must be very firm to get this ball up to the hole if she wants to make it.
Yes, sir. Wow.
Jack, that putt was a firm struck stroke. You can see the result. She really firmed it up the hill into the hole.
Fourth birdie on the backside. And a little un-Swedish like gesture there. Let's watch it again. Yes. 7 under. Five of the last 6 holes.
And remember, missed that very short putt at where she didn't make a birdie at 13.
13. Now Jan Stevenson at the 18th.
Any more right? What'd that hit?
Just a little off the green there, and Patty Sheehan now. This looks much more difficult, yes. So a big swing here at 15. And Lisa Lott birdies, Patty bogeys. 3-shot lead now for the young girl from Sweden. And while all that was happening, Missy Bertiotti and just shy. Well, Donna Caponi was the United States Women's Open title holder twice, 1969 and 1970, become one of the few players to win the championship back-to-back. While we were away, tee shots at the 16th. Neumann leads by 3. Perfectly placed.
And she's shown a lot of courage all day long, Jack, after the birdie by Patty Sheehan here at 14 to put Patty back within a stroke. She came right back with a birdie, one of the hardest holes on the golf course, 15.
And Patty's tee shot. This also on videotape. So that was tape. Now we are live, and Patty Sheehan.
Patty Sheehan's 175 yards from the hole with a very bad lie to play the kind of shot she needs to play at this hole. The ball is below her feet, not sitting too well in the rough. I would think a 5-iron.
It's coming out a little bit hot, but it's right on line. Very nicely played.
Gives herself a fighting chance. Now at 18 a moment ago, Jan Stevenson was 2 under for the day, even on the tournament. And with that putt, finishes that way. Now back live at 16.
That was Neumann from 160 yards, sort of a low hit shot to the left.
Well, she's in trouble, Rossi. She has it in the left rough short. Going to have a tough little pitch shot to try to salvage par.
That's about the first mistake we've seen her make
That's
today.
the first bad swing she's made, certainly on the back 9. Wow.
Oh, that was Albers for a par up at 18. She was 3 under par for the day coming in here and 1 under on the tournament. But as we said, it's a Sunday she'll remember.
Yeah, you hate to finish, and assuming that she makes this for the bogey. I mean, she had a good chance there to finish tied for 4th. And you just got to calm down and make this and shoot 284, which 4 fine rounds around here, and she's going to finish certainly in the top 8. Pick up by far her biggest check, more than she's won all year.
can take the wind out of your sails, can it?
Sometimes you wake up nightmares that you can't get the ball in the hole. This is something you don't wish on anyone.
Colleen Walker at the 17th.
She's taken a 5-iron, Jack. 163 yards. And you can see that's the club for that distance for her. She hit that from 145 at 12. She has got the ball right on line, just to the left of the hole.
Needed a little more there, Ed. It hit right in the front and stopped.
All right, here we're back at the 18th, and again, Christy Albers, this on videotape, missed. That was her third putt.
Better go.
Oh, and Neumann is up short. So a triple bogey for Christy Albers at the 18th hole. What a terrible shame.
That's the kind of thing that can really mess you up there, not being able to finish a hole like that.
So here we are with the leaders, and as we said, here's the first time we've seen her make a mistake all day. David?
Looked to me as if when she got down where she should be moving pretty fast through the ball, now she took it away. Remember, it's a little below her feet, so you're trying to play a left to right. Now, if you don't drive through there and you stop a little bit, you get over it and you slow down, and what happens, you hit this low, hooky kind of shot. Now, she's playing her fourth shot here at 16. She's all of a sudden giving Patty a little hope.
Oh. That was a nice pitch, David, but she's definitely a little bit off her pace. She played that second shot extremely fast, and she just couldn't get settled on that pitch shot either.
Well, well, well. All right. There's Neumann and Sheehan, and we'll go right now to Rhonda Glenn.
And I'm with Dottie Mockery, who shot a wonderful 68 today to finish at 1 under par. You had your whole family out here, did you not?
I think half of Saratoga was here today. It was really fun to have them out today.
And your dad, Don Pepper, the former baseball player, helped you a little bit overnight, you said, with your putting.
Mostly, he just told me not to worry about anything mechanical. As yesterday was just awful on the front nine, and I putted the ball the worst I think I have all year. And he said, Dottie, it's nothing mechanical. Just go out and do the same things you've been doing and trust it. And I did. I trusted it today, and that was a big part of it.
All right, Dottie, good luck to you. Great finish. Looks like you're on your way to great things and will no longer be the best unknown player on tour. Jack?
Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Dottie. All right, Patty Sheehan. So things can change here again. What swing holes they have had at the 6th hole and at the 7th and at the 15th, and now there's going to be another one here at 16.
This putt's a little bit uphill. Breaks from right to left.
All right.
Didn't move much that way, and you can see her pointing there that, hey, what happened to my left-hand break, as Jerry pointed out. That ball has been moving that way.
Well, she just hung it out to the right going up the slope, and the slope didn't let the ball break back to the left.
Now at 17, Colleen Walker. It's their second shot at the par 3. Well, now back at 16 and the leader. This is for bogey.
Notice the finger down the shaft, Jack, much like Nancy Lopez does. This becomes a very important putt here.
Jim drops her to 6 under, but still a 2-shot lead. With 2 holes to go, we'll return with more golf action after this message and a word from our local station. Tugboat, the harbor. Shame on these people in the beautiful harbor of Baltimore. They should be out here watching this tremendous final of the 43rd United States Women's Open Championship. Now let's take you back to our host, Jim McKay, who walked the ladies home.
Okay, Jack, thank you. Well, 22,000 and more of them are out here, according to the committee. And there's Patty Sheehan's tee shot, 170-yard par 3, and she has not given up. 2 strokes behind, but that's a stroke a hole. There are 2 holes left. Should there be a playoff, as is the USGA custom in these matters, it will be at 18 holes tomorrow, and we will be here. But that will be up to Lieselotte Neumann.
That's really a great shot Sheehan hit under that pressure. She had to get it close to put some pressure back on Neumann. Neumann not quite as long with her irons as Sheehan. I think has a 5-iron here. Hole playing about 155, but it's all uphill.
Parents watching live back home in Sweden, along with much of that nation.
She's got this one going to the left of the flag. It's pin high. Going to have a downhill putt, though.
Yes, she is. That's a pretty tough putt, wasn't it?
Well, it's on the green, though. The main thing, put the ball on the green and 2-putt. Make Patty Sheehan have to make her putt. Don't give her anything as you did the last hole.
Amy Benz on 18. Second shot.
Jim, I've dropped back here with Amy now. She's playing from almost 160 yards back pretty far in the fairway. Probably a 5-iron.
She's 2 over for the day in the championship.
Kind of an unremarkable day, and I know she'd love to finish it off with a birdie.
Well, she's got her chance. You know, Rhonda, I think we should pay a little tribute to these women on this very difficult golf course, which you said was perhaps the best golf course any of them have ever played on. All 6 of the leaders are under par for today, and with final round pressure, that's really something.
It is indeed, Jim, and it's been a very long golf course. We have to stress that 6,232 yards, played a lot longer because of the rain.
Beth Daniel on 18, playing from under the tree.
That was the shot that Julie Inkster tried to play yesterday.
Yeah.
And caught the tree.
She's still got some doing to get down on this hole. She'll be coming downhill there. It's a very pretty finishing hole, and it looks a lot easier than it turns out to be, Dave.
That's a lot longer playing than 358. I mean, with the rain and your drive, you're playing uphill, as you see, between those bunkers. And the one place you must not hit it is to the right, where we just saw Beth Daniel play a shot from, and what caused Julie Inkster all that problem yesterday. All right, so you've driven in the fairway, and you've got to say 150 to 170 yard second shot to a green that's got quite a bit of slope in it from left to right and back to front, and well bunkered. Typical Tillinghast entry.
Tammy Green on the tee.
She's hit a good drive. It's up the right-hand side of the fairway, right center.
Tammy.
Should be in good
5.
position.
Excuse me, Ed, I'm sorry. Tammy is 5 over for the championship. She's 6 over for today, unfortunately.
Jim, I predict she's going to be a winner. She's really got a good golf swing, and she's just played one of those days. She's felt the pressure of the Open. She's going to learn, and she'll be back, I'm sure.
Colleen Walker, who had the lead briefly at one point today, now 4 shots out of the lead in 3rd place, needs a par here to hold on to 3rd.
Watch her rhythm, Jim.
Well, she's pushed this one to the right. It's one of the few shots she's hit offline today.
She going to have a problem with the trees, can you tell?
It looks like she is, Jim. She's going to have to play something either down low or sliced out of that rough.
Okay. And on they walk. Only one more group of 2 to come to this final hole. Saturday, August 6th now on ABC Sports. Remember, live coverage of the 1988 United States Senior Open Championship begins. Arnold Palmer, Gary Player, Chichi Rodriguez, all of them great names in the sport will tee off live, except on the West Coast at 2 Eastern and Pacific, 1 Central. That's Saturday, August 6th, right here. Leaves a lot now for birdie on 16. This could really wrap it up. I think getting close is what she's after here. Or is she? Or is she? Do you believe that?
No.
Downhill, side hill. Doesn't make any difference.
You told me how tough these greens were. You better talk to her about how to putt these greens.
One thing she has been known for, she is a great putter.
But you think about what she's done this week. 67, which was the low first round ever shot in a woman's open and a course record then.
That was to Mom and Dad, the wave.
And 139 after 2 rounds, which tied that record. 208 after 3 rounds, which ties that record. And if she should finish, after we watch this putt again, with a 7 under, that would be a brand new 72-hole record.
Well, if she pars 18 now, she's got 32 on this par 36 back 9, which is by far the more difficult of the 2 9.
And when you put on that, it's to win the Open Championship. That is.
Best round ever played here was in that informal Pro-Am where you played last year, where David Frost had 64. And here is a 22-year-old young lady from Sweden, perhaps doing 32 on the back 9. That's something. So, Patty Sheehan can do nothing now except just try to put the ball in the hole.
Yeah.
Well. So Lieselot Neumann will take a 3-shot lead to the final hole, and I'll tell you, there's a big gallery waiting for her here.
Well, that was a big putt there, too, because if Patty makes that, then Lieselot has to still be careful. Now, with a 3-stroke lead, she has the luxury of playing the hole just the way she wants to.
Yep.
Doesn't have to take any chances.
Now, just in case Mom and Dad had gone to the refrigerator, let's give them one more look at the wave. That is for you in Sweden, watching live by satellite. Great thing. She's not afraid to show her emotions on the golf course.
Well, not only that, how about what she said when she was talking to Rhonda, when she thanked her parents for all the support and everything? I mean, what more could a parent ask than
That's
you
right.
remember that, hey, you might have helped me, Mom and Dad, a little bit sometime.
Big year for Sweden, winning Wimbledon, and now the U.S. Women's Open. As you said, Sweden apparently is the coming country in golf. Not only Lieselot, but more golf courses, more players, and a couple of men who could come on pretty soon. 18th fairway.
All right. She's pushed that ball to the right with a 6-iron.
Yep, more trouble for Tammy.
Colleen Walker was blocked by the trees, Jim, and she's pitched out into the fairway. She really had no shot.
So she may drop down into a tie for 3rd with Dottie Mockery, or worse, or she may hang on and get her par. We'll see. But it's going to be Neumann first, almost unquestionably, and here she is, and Sheehan second. Neumann 2 under for the day. She'd had earlier rounds of 67, 72, 69 yesterday. If she pars here, it'll be another 69 today.
Well, it's her first year in the United States, but she has a lot of experience. That European tour has become very competitive. A lot of good players come from there, including Laura Davies, who won our Open last year.
Well, this is the big championship, as we said. I mean, people will argue about whether the U.S. Open or the British Open is the bigger or closer to the World Championship of men's golf. I don't think anybody would argue that this is the biggest women's championship in the world. Colleen Walker, 3rd shot now on the finishing par 4 hole.
From about 95 yards. She's got a pitching wedge and does not have a lot of room to stop the ball. Get out. She's hit it a little bit long and to the left. If it spins back, here it comes.
Good shot. You still have that long one for the par 4 to hold on to undisputed possession of 3rd place. Now on the tee, the leader. She has led or been tied for the lead at the end of every day, and that's an extra pressure.
It looked like it might have been a 3-wood.
I think it was, Jim, and it's in perfect shape right down the left center of the fairway. Not long, but very comfortable in the fairway.
Well, Dave, you suggested yesterday that maybe a 3 would be the club to use here to get the ball up in the air.
Well, that's right. What I really think is when she's got a 3-stroke lead, she can play a 3-wood and be
Yep.
sure she hits the fairway. She can make 5 here.
Yep.
And you got to bet that Patty's not going to make 2. I mean, that would be a miracle.
That one's down the left side. Going to catch the left rough.
Okay, over towards the apple trees that give this hole its name. We asked a former champion how winning the U.S. Women's Open changed her life.
Winning the U.S. Women's Open in 1965 at Atlantic City changed my life in 2 ways. 1, it taught me about pressure, real or imagined. 2, it taught me about achievement and how humbling achievement can be.
Colleen Walker needs this for a bogey to finish in a 3rd-place tie with Dottie Mockery. And she did it. Tough little putt there. She finishes at 1 under for the championship, even par on today's round. There you see it, 70, 74, 68, and 71. Fine championship. Well, we mentioned earlier Reg Murphy, the tournament chairman here. There's a few other people we should try to acknowledge as we go along, Dave, like Jack Buckley, our club president, Jack Emig, who's worked tirelessly for years around here. This is Tammy Green, also going for a bogey. That puts her at 6 over for the championship, 7 over for the day, 78. Here you go, Dave.
Okay, well, a lot of times people ask you questions. Should you lift your left heel when you take the club back on your backswing? Well, let's see how these 2 very good players do it. Just watch their left foot when they get to the top of their swing. You'll see that Neumann keeps hers on the ground. Patty, on the other hand, lifts hers up a little bit. So you've got to say either one is correct. I think that's very important to keep your footwork very simple in what you can do in transferring your weight.
The apparent winner, but let's bring her home. Lisa Lott Neumann, 2nd shot on 18.
That was from 165 yards. Beautiful shot.
Okay. Okay, watch it come in towards the hole now. Watch it. That'll be a downhill putt, and the applause begins to grow. But
well, if there were any question about it, that just took care of it right there. And what a last, man, 12 holes she played, or 11 holes, starting at number 8.
Here's Patty Sheehan.
That was from 155.
That better get up. That's way short to the right.
Oh, dear. Yes, it is.
I think she thought it would jump out of the rough, but it didn't. Came out very softly.
Making the task of Neumann even a little bit easier. Look at the gallery. Beautiful crowd here. And let's listen to this for the young lady far from home, Liselott Neumann of Sweden. They love her in Baltimore. What a day to remember, huh? At age 22. Great thing about our communications today, too, Dave, that her parents can be watching live in Sweden as it happens. And Patty Sheehan, it's for her, too. Well, the crowd has come a long way in this championship, too, slogging through the rain and the overcast skies for 4 days, and everybody having a fine time on this final day of competition. A hot summer day, but very pleasant. Well, we've been watching these swings all day long. Here they are, Dave.
Okay, I talked about their left heel, and you'll see when Neumann gets to the top of her swing, Sheehan starts away first a little bit here, but they both have good shoulder turns, and that's what you want to do. Now, as they move down, I feel it's a little easier since Neumann keeps her left heel down on the ground that she can get back to it quicker and more consistently than a player does that picks their left heel up. Of course, they both work, and we know a lot about Patty Sheehan, but I think we're going to know a lot pretty soon about Lisa Lott Neumann, too.
Tough little chip here, but at least it's uphill for Sheehan.
Well, she can still make a 5 here, Jim. You want her to make 4 or chip it in or whatever. It's not going to affect that. She's going to finish second no matter what happens unless she faints.
That's right. Showing no tendency to do that. Wouldn't it be nice for the frosting on the cake if one more went down? Or a 31.
Yeah, that would be quite low.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised, and I'm sure Patty didn't putt out because she would be standing in Neumann's land there. Otherwise, she would have gone ahead because for all intent and purposes, this is the winner of the tournament and the first prize to go with it. She's been struggling a little this year, won only $27,000 coming into here, but of course, the Open Championship is the prize.
Trickling away a bit, but there's plenty of room. She'll have that next one for the par 4. Seems quite discouraged not to make a birdie.
It's not as much fun when you don't make a birdie.
No. You think someday she'll begin to understand how hard this game is?
Everybody does. Remember, Jim, you just get to borrow it for
That's
a
right.
while.
That's
you don't
right.
get permanent possession of it.
Nobody retires that trophy. That's right. Patty Sheehan for the par now. The faces of Maryland there, Dave, don't they look like upstanding, fine people to you?
Ah, yes.
All right. Good fight in par 4 for Patty Sheehan to bring her in at 4 under for the championship. 1 under par, 70 for today. 70, 72, 68, 70. Congratulations.
280. I guarantee you the first part of the week, everybody in this field would have taken 280 and said, okay, I'll just sit and wait because I got a winner here.
Well, that shake of the head and the smile seemed to indicate, what am I going to do, you know? Well, she certainly had to make this par here for a round of 69.
That'd be a new tournament record for 72 holes.
And there it is. 69 today. She finishes 7 over, wins by 3, and you don't have to learn that gesture of throwing that ball to the crowd.
I think the Orioles could use her because she's got a better arm than some of your players, I've seen.
That's great, you're right. I mean, great, you're right. With rounds of 67, 72, 69, and 69, 3 of the 4 rounds under 70 on the difficult Five Farms course. Yes, indeed. She's made a lot of friends here in Maryland. Anytime she wants to come back here, you can be sure she'll be welcome.
Martha Figueres Doty, another member from the European Tour.
We're going to try to have a word with her after she checks over her score, and it looks like we'll have time to do that. There you see the way they finished, but stay with us. She'll be an interesting person to meet. In a lovely old residential area of Baltimore sits one of the clubhouses of the Baltimore Country Club. It's a gem, almost irreplaceable at any price today. And sloping up to the terrace is a golf hole. just about all that's left of the course on which the 1899 U.S. Open was played. Willie Smith won it by 11 strokes, still the largest margin of victory in the Open. 27 years later, another course opened 7 miles to the north, built on 5 Farms, which were acquired by the club. In 1928, 5 Farms was host to the PGA Championship. Leo Deagle ended Walter Hagen's string of 5 straight PGA victories in the quarterfinal round, then went on to win the title. It was played at match play in those days. 4 years later in the U.S. Amateur at 5 Farms, the Canadian Ross Somerville, known as Sandy, was the surprise winner. Somerville was a star also in cricket, rugby, and ice hockey, as well as golf. Francis Ouimet, 17 years after his historic win in the U.S. Open, shot a remarkable 64 in the first round, but was eliminated in the semifinals. There was a 25-year gap until the next major event. In 1965, the British Walker Cup team took a 10-5 lead over the Americans. But in the end, it took a 35-foot putt by Clive Clark to salvage a tie for Great Britain and Ireland. So the Baltimore Country Club has seen the U.S. Open, the PGA, the U.S. Amateur, the Walker Cup, and now the U.S. Women's Open. And now add the name of Lieselot Neumann to all the others who have won great championships here at the Baltimore Country Club. Let's go down now to the winner and Bob Rosberg.
Lieselot, your first win, and you made it the biggest one of them all. How do you feel right now?
This is the happiest moment in my whole life. I'm so happy. I just want to cry. This is great.
All those hard hours that you worked in Sweden, hitting the balls into the net and everything, they all pay off finally, don't they?
All my dreams finally come true. I'm the U.S. Women's Open champion. This is wonderful.
Well, you set your standards very high when you came over here and opened up so quickly with 64 your first round in the United States, and then went on and had a fairly decent year, but you just got it all together here.
Yeah, I've been playing good the last couple of weeks, and it's like this week finally I got everything to work together. My drive, approach shot, putting, everything, and that's what it takes to win.
What would you like to say to your parents right now?
Kan jag säga det in Swedish?
You sure can.
Jag vill bara tacka er, mamma och pappa, för allt ni har gjort för mig, och jag älskar er. Tack.
What does that mean?
I just told them I love them, and I just thank them for everything they've done for me.
Well, you're a great protege of theirs, I'll tell you, and we welcome you to the halls of the United States Open Women's Champion.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Couldn't
Now back
have
to Jim
said it
McKay.
better. Thank you, Bob. She couldn't have said it better. Before we leave, 3 other fellas I'd like to give some credit to here. One of the best combinations since Tinker Devers to Chance. The club manager, Paul Spellman, our professional, Dennis Sadashore, and the green superintendent, Merrill Frank. Now the scores of the leaders here, as you had one more look at the champion. Neumann by 3 over Patty Sheehan, by 6 over Colleen Walker and Dottie Mockery, by 7 over Jan Stevenson, who had a fine round today, by 8 over Amy Benz and Missy Bertiotti. Some of the others, Julie Inkster, who fought it through 3 rounds but couldn't do it today. Christy Alvarez had a hole-in-one today. Beth Daniel tried but couldn't do it. Neither could Nancy Lopez. The 1988 U.S. Women's Open Golf Championship. This ABC Sports exclusive has been brought to you by U.S. F&G Financial Services, asset management tools for a brave new world. By Michelob, one taste will tell you why the night belongs to Michelob. By Kellogg's Special K. And by Lincoln, what a luxury car should be. The executive producer of ABC's golf coverage is Jeffrey Mason. Today's golf was produced by Terry Jastro and directed by Jim Jeanette. Our replay director was Bob Lanning, and the technical directors, Werner Gunther and Les Weiss. The associate producer, Jack Graham, and the associate director, Dick Buffington. Tomorrow night on ABC's Monday Night Baseball, the New York Mets, leaders of the National League East, visit the Philadelphia Phillies, or the Los Angeles Dodgers, leaders of the National League West, meet the San Francisco Giants. Be sure to check your local listings for the game in your area. Right now, if you're on the West Coast, stay tuned as the world's top drivers compete in the International Race of Champions from Daytona Beach, Florida. That's coming next on the West Coast only. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.